Hello everyone, it's CMeeCraft here, and man, has 2016 been a good year for me and for this YouTube channel. Seriously, we may not be the next PewDiePie yet, but over the last year, we added nearly 75 new subscribers to our ranks, and thank you so much to all of you subscribers. You do not know how much it means to me that there are 300 people out there that at some point thought my videos were worth subscribing to. Just thank you so much. Thank you. We also covered over 40 games this year, and now looking back on the year and all the great games I played, I figured a top 10 was in order. So here we go, the top 10 video games of 2016. Now before we get started, let's go over the criteria for this list. Number 1. Due in part to me wanting to be able to promote my other videos with this top 10, but mostly because pretty much everything I played this year I did so on the channel, this list will only feature games that I played on the channel this year. Number 2. The games have to have either been released or in a state of early access this year to qualify on the list. Anything that fits into those two rules is fair game. So let's jump into the top 10 video games of 2016. Coming in at number 10 is the Temporal Invasion, one of the most interesting and unique games I played this year. The Temporal Invasion, to sum it up in 3 words, is a conspiracy theorist simulator, which is something I didn't know I wanted. But the types of puzzles that this game had were great. In the space of just an hour of playing, there were puzzles about JFK conspiracies, Morse code, ciphers, and good old-fashioned riddles. If you are a fan of puzzle games, or even just intrigued by the overall concept, I would highly recommend the Temporal Invasion. This year we started a new regular series, Multiplayer Monday, and am I glad that we did. There are just so many great multiplayer games out there. So, here is the first of many multiplayer games on this list. Coming in at number 9 is Moon Hunters. Of all the multiplayer games we played, this one stood out for being one of the few co-op games we played. Now don't get me wrong, I love competition as much as the next guy, but it is nice and refreshing to work together towards a common goal. The fact that Moon Hunters also had compelling gameplay, a great tone, and a just mysterious enough, just comical enough story doesn't hurt either. Most games on this list, I can pinpoint some specific reasons as to why I liked them so much. The Temporal Invasion had some of the most interesting puzzles I've seen this year. Moon Hunters was a great co-op experience with a good story, and yet I find myself at a loss for words to articulate why Human Fall Flat is good. Well, I suppose one reason is the game's humor. There was almost never a time that I picked up a training tape and wasn't at least thinking, I see what you did there. I suppose the level design deserves some credit too. Every mechanic was used in interesting ways and never overstayed its welcome. Okay, I guess I can articulate why Human Fall Flat is number 8 on this list. Nelly Koodle at the Foul Fleet is a good point-and-click adventure game. What, you want me to expound on that? Fine, although I'm not quite sure what else I could say to justify putting Nelly Koodle at the Foul Fleet at number 7 on this list. Nelly Koodle at the Foul Fleet is a good point-and-click adventure game. Everything you want from that sort of game is present. Humor, puzzles that are not super obvious but not absurdly esoteric, and a fun world full of interesting characters. So, like I said, it's good. Without further ado, let me announce that at number 6 on this list is Killsteal the Game. Oops, I read that wrong. At number 6 is actually Crawl, which, as the name might suggest, is a multiplayer dungeon crawler with a slight twist. Only one player is the protagonist of this tale, with the other players acting as ghosts, possessing various monsters and traps in an attempt to successfully killsteal. I read it wrong again. The ghosts attempt to vanquish the hero to restore their humanity. All joking aside though, as frustrating as the kill stealing in this game can be, and trust me, it is, it's good fun. Crawl is a fun, chaotic multiplayer extravaganza that also happens to be fairly unique in its premise. Have you ever wanted to compete against your friends to see who is the best at getting through a platformer made by a sadistic level designer? Well, at number 5, Ultimate Chicken Horse does you one better. Not only can you play sadistic levels with your friends, you also have a hand in making sadistic levels. So, if you have a group of friends that enjoy platformers, then you will love Ultimate Chicken Horse. There are many things in life that needn't to be taken very seriously. At number 4, Gang Beasts is one of those things. Gang Beasts is a great, hilarious multiplayer game with a healthy variety of levels. There are so many great situations that Gang Beast fostered. In fact, Gang Beasts may have privy to the most laugh-out-loud funny moments on the channel this year. So, if you are in the market for a lighthearted multiplayer game that is sure to produce some laughs, I highly recommend Gang Beasts. And now for another multiplayer platformer. At number 3 is Speedrunners, yet another multiplayer platformer. But unlike the aforementioned Ultimate Chicken Horse, which trends towards sadistic levels, Speedrunners, as the name implies, focuses on speed. And let me tell you, there are few things more satisfying than jumping, sliding, and of course grapple hooking perfectly, leaving everyone else in the dust. Speedrunners is another great, chaotic multiplayer game that is quite fun. There must be tons of pressure when you're making the next entry in one of, if not the, most iconic PC gaming franchises of all time. But yet, making its way to number 2 is Civilization 6. This game, despite having to follow Civilization 5 with all the expansions, does not disappoint. Now, I haven't been able to sink hundreds of hours into Civilization 6 yet, but from what I have played, I can't come up with any major complaints regarding features. Everything good from Civilization 5 with all the expansions is back, and all of the more frustrating elements, at least in my opinion, have been taken away. The new district system adds a significant amount of depth to city development. The only thing that really bothered me about Civilization 6 is that there are some weird holes in the roster of civilizations, such as Persia and the Ottomans not being there, but overall Civilization 6 is a great game. Well, here we are. It's time to reveal my number 1 game of 2016. So, without further ado, coming in at number 1 is Planet Coaster. And really, for me, it couldn't have been any other game. Now, I should tell you that my favorite childhood game was Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. And Planet Coaster is basically a newer, improved version of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. And it's amazing. I love the more robust terrain editing. The building interface is such an improvement. The coaster builder has so many more possibilities. The way that the underground areas of your park are handled is a million times better. Obviously, the graphical improvements are very much appreciated, and there are just so many improvements, with my only real complaints deriving from the fact that Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 had 2 expansions, and Planet Coaster doesn't have any yet. I would say that Planet Coaster is the best park management game I have ever played, and would recommend it highly. Call me nostalgia blind or whatever, but in my opinion, Planet Coaster is the best game of 2016. And there we have it. I would bet the most unique top 10 games of 2016 list out there. But hey, that's just my opinion, and I would love to hear yours, so why don't you leave a comment about your personal favorite games from 2016, especially the more obscure games you played, because we already all know that the big, critically acclaimed games were good. So I want to hear your favorite obscure game from this year. So anyways, guys, Until next time, I've been CMeeCraft, and I will catch you in the next top 10 video. Goodbye.